So, continuing my child abuse series for Child Abuse Prevention Month, this is a case involving twins. So, January 18th, 2024, a Pike County investigator got this case from Arkansas State Police Crimes Against Children Division because 3-month old twins, fraternal twins, a boy and a girl, had been admitted to Arkansas Children's Hospital. Now, DHS already had custody of these twins. They took custody at the hospital, and both parents left the hospital. So the reason that DHS took custody of these twins so early on is because there were concerns about malnourishment, there were concerns about the injuries, there was concerns about neglect. So on January 18th, these twins were taken to their pediatrician's office in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Now, during that visit, the Hot Springs doctor called for an ambulance to transport the girl baby to Arkansas Children's Hospital for a full workup because injuries the baby already had. Now, it was found at Arkansas Children's Hospital that the girl had bilateral subdural hemorrhages, meaning hemorrhages on both sides of her skull, and also a torn frenulum in her mouth. And the report doesn't specify which frenulum, but from what I can see, the frenulum can be the piece that attaches the tongue to the bottom of your mouth, like that webbing, or it could be a piece that attaches your top lip to your gums. So I would think that the baby might have either been tongue tied or lip tied, but that was torn through some kind of injury. Not only the girl twin was taken to Arkansas Children's Hospital in an ambulance, the boy was taken to Arkansas Children's Hospital by vehicle by his dad, Michael Shepard. And unfortunately, when doctors checked out the boy twin, he had to be admitted to ICU because they suspected that he had skull fractures and also had brain bleeds. So the girl twin had multiple rib fractures that were in various stages of healing. She also had several fractures to like the lower parts of her arm bones and hands. Like, she had so many fractures that they actually did a bone density test to check her bone density to see if she had like a lower bone density, meaning she was more prone to having broken bones, and she tested normal. Of course, that was all in addition to the bilateral subdural hematomas and the torn frenulum. Now, the boy also had bilateral subdural hematomas. Now, the boy twin had, I mean, I'm counting at least 15 rib fractures that are listed that are in various stages of healing. He also had a couple of fractures to the bones in his hand. Now, I said that these babies were 3 months old, right? So, according to the physicians at Arkansas Children's Hospital, the injuries that these babies had were somewhere between 2 to 7 weeks old due to the level of healing that they had. They were listed as injuries caused by non accidental trauma that could have caused death. It was absolutely suspected that these injuries were caused by child abuse. They were the result of these babies being abused. Now, on February 1st, investigators in Pike County were able to speak with the mother, Cheyanne Hildbrand. Now, Cheyanne was super vague when they asked her what happened with the babies, but she finally admitted that she has anger issues and she doesn't take her medicine like she's supposed to for the anger issues, which means that she grabbed the babies too hard on occasion. Told police that when the babies would cry, she would become angry with them and she would get more angry on top of that when her boyfriend, Michael Shepard, wouldn't help her. She said that she had, placed the baby too hard on the bed. She had kicked the baby. She said that she had grabbed and picked the babies up by their arms, also by their feet, dragging them to her. During Michael Shepard's interview, he did say that Cheyanne had major anger issues and he saw her be too rough with the baby. He saw her at one point throw the baby on the bed and then kick the baby, which, she admitted to. He said he didn't call the police when that happened, but when he found out that the babies had injuries, he and Cheyanne came up with a story together to try to eliminate them getting in trouble. And like, how sweet, he saw her beat up little defenseless 3-month-old babies, twins that were, sharing DNA with him and also, unfortunately, with her. And he decided that he would protect her and, F them babies. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic because it's mind blowing to me. Michael Shepard was arrested on 2 counts of permitting child abuse, and Cheyanne Hildbrand was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree domestic battery. They are both still being held in the Pike County Detention Center. Now, it shouldn't need to be said, but I feel like at this point I should probably say this. Being rough with a baby, treating a baby poorly because you're angry at it because it's crying, because it can't talk, and crying is the only form of communication that it has, isn't going to get a baby to stop crying unless you injure the baby to a point where, you know, it's suffering injury and isn't crying because it's so injured. So let's not do that. If you are having trouble handling your baby, maybe pass your baby on to someone that can give you a little bit of a break from that baby. Or if you don't have anybody, put the baby in its bed calmly and just take a breather. It's okay. I would rather you take a breather than to harm a baby. And I said breather. That doesn't mean leave the baby at home to go take a vacation or a trip to the store or anything else. Just a breather in a different room. Like 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. Just enough, just long enough to calm down. That would be my unsolicited advice, but please do not harm your babies.